I'm not playing around. Only adults can watch this video. Viewer discretion is advised. Well, hello there, my friend. You know what I just noticed? I didn't turn on my trusty lamp in the background. What am I doing? What am I doing? Got to get that on. Do we like the blue? Yeah, now we're going to go back to red, I think. Let's do red. All right, good. Welcome to the channel, everybody. I'm so glad you're here. My name's Gavin. This is my channel. Here we like to cut through the fluff and the sensationalism of true crime, get right into the nitty-gritty. We like to try to learn lessons. We like to improve our experience and intelligence, maybe grow in a little bit of wisdom. And this case that we're going to talk about tonight definitely gives us that opportunity. I do want to reiterate what Baby Gavin said in the very beginning. This video is only for adults. No kiddos here. So kiddos, we love you. We think you're terrific. Now skedaddle. Go away. Bye-bye. We'll see you later. Okay? Thank you. All right. We are taking another look at the case of the missing person case of Elisa Petrov. Now, when we talked about this last time, looks like we're a little bit hot on the mic. Sorry about that. When we talked about this case a couple of days ago, I compared this case to the case of Aubrey Wu. I'm not sure if I have Aubrey kind of up that we could bring her up. There she is. Yeah, let's see. The case of Aubrey Wu, who ran away from home in eastern Pennsylvania, kind of near the New Jersey border. One was that was in January that she did that. Now, she was found, thankfully. She was found, which is just absolutely a blessing. We want that same kind of outcome for this case. So before we dig in any deeper, I just want to make you aware. Look at the lower third down below. She's been missing since April 21st. She lives in South Jordan, Utah with her parents, Olga and Nikolai Petrov, and she goes to school in American Fork, Utah. We did a whole map time last time. We're not going to really get into that this time. But anyway, so she's missing out of the Salt Lake Valley in northern Utah. If you have a tip, even if you're just like, I don't know, put in the tip, please. 801-840-4000 is the number for the South Jordan Police. If you want to remain anonymous, remember, just 800-222-TIPS, right? That is Crime Stoppers. Okay. There has been a little bit, there are a couple pieces of information that has happened here. Number one, remember, we have two suspects. 37-year-old William Taylor Glines. He was arrested a couple days ago, week ago, something like that. And then they put an arrest warrant out for a man named Matthew Nicholas Menard, age 35. He turned himself in Florida. Mr. Glines in Texas, Mr. Menard in Florida. He has turned himself in. Now, the main thing, so that's terrific. That is terrific. He needs to face the consequences of his alleged actions. I hope that he employs the use of an attorney and lets our justice system work the way it is designed to do, fairly and hopefully expeditiously, though it doesn't seem like that happens all that often anymore. Okay. The next thing that happened, I don't have a photo of him. There are a couple of photos that were published, but I'm not certain that they are accurate. I would hate to put somebody else's photo up there and it not be the right photo. So we'll just keep Elisa up here so you'll be able to see her. Okay. But there is a third man. And if you come over with me to Acrobat, we'll find out a little bit about him because this is the affidavit of probable cause for Mr. Samuel Tiancum Mitchell of Harriman, Utah. Harriman is there on the southwest side of the Utah or the Salt Lake Valley. Now I'm second guessing myself. I'm pretty sure it's like West Jordan, Harriman. There's so many little towns in the Salt Lake Valley. They all blend together into one giant city, by the way. It's Salt Lake City, but they have all these little names. It's like a lot of places. Sacramento's that way. I'm from Orangevale, but I tell people I'm from Sacramento. Anyway, we're going to go through this document, but I wanted to show you that in this document, there are some redactions. I want to let you know, full disclosure, that I am the one that redacted these items in this document. Okay, remember Elisa's face. I keep bringing it up. Remember her face because we want to find her, and we can't give up hope on this, guys, because remember, Aubrey Wu was missing for all that time, and she was found. So we're gonna hopefully do the same thing with Elisa Petrov. These redactions I did for a couple of reasons. One, I don't think it's necessary to put a person's phone number and address out who is accused of a terrible crime. This is a public document. You can get your hands on it. In fact, for my patrons, I will put this up tonight so that you guys have access to the full document. It's a public document, but I just really don't feel like doing that. It feels too doxy to me. Secondly, there are some very graphic conversations and very graphic descriptions from police in this document, and I just decided we don't need that. We don't need that. We understand, right? We understand from the charges against him. You can see the charges against him. They're second-degree felonies. Okay? We get it. We don't need to really read the nitty-gritty. I don't know. I feel like it's a little like I accidentally did it last time. I should have gone ahead and fixed that. But this time we're just gonna play it safe. Feels a little disrespectful to a 15-year-old girl who is missing, who has parents who miss her, want her to come home. Like Aubrey Wu, it does appear that Elisa Petrov is unhappy at home. Now, is that an indication that there's anything wrong with her parents? It's really not. That is one of the possibilities. I've seen in the comments, if she ran away, then there must be something wrong. Remember that this is a 15-year-old girl. She lacks experience. She lacks wisdom. And I'm just talking about just the average 15-year-old. I was this way. You were probably this way, right? At 15, you think you got the world by the horns and that you can do anything, and you just don't understand how much you don't know. And that is the situation here. We've got a 15-year-old girl who doesn't understand the way of the world. She's put herself, because of her lack of experience, because of her lack of wisdom, in harm's way. As the grown-ups, we want to bring her home. That's what we're going to try to do. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive on in to this affidavit of probable cause for Mr. Mitchell. So there are 6 charges, including enticing Elisa and the exploitation of Elisa, and maybe another person as well. I think it was another person too. Okay, on April 21st, 2025, a female juvenile, 15 years of age, was dropped off at school by her mother at 9:30 a.m. The juvenile never went to class and was later located on security cameras at a nearby gas station. She was later given a ride by an unknown male to the UTA track station in American Fork, Utah. Some dude helped her get to the UTA. But you know what? Maybe it was a good Samaritan. Maybe she made him believe that she was in danger or something like that. I should not pass judgment. So they went to the track station in American Fork, which is where the school is, where she traveled to Provo, south along the I-15 corridor. She was last seen on surveillance footage in Provo on foot. By the way, I think the last time we met, I think the latest information was that witnesses saw her there and said that she had asked for help getting to Las Vegas. Now we see she was last seen on surveillance footage in Provo. The juvenile's parents reported her as a runaway, and your affiant has been assisting the lead investigator on this case. While conducting a search of the juvenile's room, your affiant located a hidden iPad in the juvenile's dresser. Consent was provided by the parents to seize the iPad. We talked about this last time. This was according to the parents, this was an iPad that they had just long ago forgotten about. Probably an older model that they didn't think anything of it. She got her hands on it. By the way, in my house, we've got so many old devices. So, again, on the checklist of things that I want to do this week, I'm like, get an organization of these old devices, right? Anyway, it was an old iPad. She got it. She hid it from her parents. She was unhappy with her parents. The iPad was later searched, and numerous alarming conversations and media were located within. Based upon these conversations and media, the juvenile was upgraded to endangered, missing, at risk in the NCIC, which is a national law enforcement database. Your affiant looked through the Discord app and located a conversation between the juvenile and an account named Samich. Discord user ID, this long number. And your affiant read through their conversations, which were lengthy. Your affiant discovered that the juvenile requested multiple times for Samich to kidnap her and provided him locations she was going to be at, such as Alta Ski Resort, as well as that she lives in South Jordan and goes to school in American Fork. I think this is an indication that this was an unhappy, discontented child. And no judgment on a 15-year-old for feeling this way, by the way. Life is really unfair when you're a teenager, when you're a kid, right? Even under the best circumstances, life is just kind of hard when you're that age. But she's doing dangerous things. She's talking with strangers on Discord and saying, hey, come pick me up. This is where I'm going to be. Take me away. Right? Okay, these messages were exchanged about 8 days. Where I just lost myself. Hold on a sec. 8 days before the juvenile ran away. Less than a week before the juvenile ran away, she messaged Samich about meeting with him and requested that he bring condoms. And I wondered about this, guys, if this is an indication that she is willing to trade herself for the service of getting her away, helping her run away, which does indicate a level of desperation to me. So I don't know what was going on at home. It could be something as innocent as a 15-year-old girl just thinking that life is unfair, to something more sinister. And in the absence of seeing anything more sinister, I am kind of defaulting to probably just a teenager who thinks life is unfair. But I could be wrong, right? This is just my opinion, and I'm nobody. Okay. Earlier in their chat, the juvenile spoke about when she turns 18, she can be a vlogger, but if she shows her face before 18, then she is screwed. Throughout the chat, it is visible that the juvenile and Samich have multiple calls with each other. Within their chat, the juvenile mentions, and this is, she mentions that she would like to do harm to herself and that she hates her parents. The juvenile refers to Samich as daddy multiple times. Their conversations are sexual in nature, and they speak about video chatting. Based upon how the chat reads, it appears that messages have been deleted. Discord user ID number for the victim's account was identified as that. Your affiant wrote a search warrant for these Discord accounts. Your affiant received the returns from this warrant from Discord on April 30th. I think that's actually a pretty quick turnaround time. Your affiant also received a national NCMEC tip for the Sandwich Discord account on the same date. I wonder what NCMEC is. Let me look that up real quick. NCMEC. National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Okay, so amazing that they will do that. So they received a tip for Sandwich Discord account on the same date. The NCMEC tip identified the IP number for Sandwich account and geolocated this IP address to West Jordan, Utah. While searching through the chats on the Sandwich account, your affiant observed that Sandwich sent a phone number telling the recipient to call me if you can and provided his phone number as, and I redacted that. A law enforcement database query of this returned to Samuel Tianka Mitchell, born July 1st, 1983, of this address in Harriman, Utah. Again, Harriman is very close to West Jordan. A picture located in the return from Discord appeared to match Mitchell's Utah DMV photo. Your affiant located the chats in Mitchell's Discord account that were viewed on the juvenile's iPad after the messages about becoming a vlogger when she turns 18. So he knows that she's younger than 18, for sure. When I turn 18, eventually, sometime in the future, let's do the math. That means this is before your 18th birthday. It'd be gross anyway. Come on. But anyway, Mitchell and Juvenile converse about couples twister, sex monopoly. I decided to leave those in. It didn't seem quite so severe. Later, the Juvenile asked Mitchell if he would wrap her in a towel like a burrito. Mitchell replies something very graphic. The Juvenile then wrote he. Then Mitchell continued something very graphic. The Juvenile replied something graphic. The Juvenile also provided Mitchell her Snapchat username. No CSAM was located in either the Juvenile's or Mitchell's Discord returns. However, Mitchell made comments such as, "Also pretty baby girl." The Juvenile wrote to Mitchell, "Yeah. Baby, I sent you a cute picture on Snap." The next day, the 15th of April at 1:39 a.m., the victim wrote, and it was graphic. So she's doing this obviously when nobody knows that she's doing it. The Juvenile then wrote, "My mom took my phone away. I have your user though. I unadded you." Mitchell replied, "Oh, is that why there was a screenshot?" The Juvenile then wrote, like, "Are we for real meeting? Like, please confirm, please before tonight, confirm if we are meeting. Please bring condoms." Mitchell later replied, "Hey, sorry, I got really sick." The Juvenile replied, "So we meetin'?" And Mitchell responded, "If you want to hear me sneezing and coughing and getting you sick, plus I wouldn't be too much fun." Oh, man, I'm not even showing you guys this. I'm so sorry. Bringing it back up. Sorry about that. So, to me, the way this reads, Elisa is serious. And I think what's happening here is the adult is chickening out. And, that's how it reads to me. I don't know, though. Okay, but she seems extremely serious about leaving. I mean, I'd love to hear your guys's. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. The last message sent from Juvenile to Mitchell was on April 19th at 12:34 a.m. saying, "I'm running away. Please don't contact me." Your affiant responded to Mitchell's address in Harriman. When advised that we were working on a missing juvenile case, Mitchell advised he knew why we were speaking to him. That indicates a consciousness of guilt, by the way. Mitchell advised he had met a girl online who was mad at her parents and had started harming herself. Mitchell advised the girl had messaged him and told him she was running away and not to contact her again. Mitchell said he could not remember which chat site he had met the girl on. He's being evasive, right? Mitchell said the girl told him she used various aliases and that she did not provide him her name. Mitchell denied any communication with the juvenile since she had run away. Mitchell advised the girl he mentioned that she met an FBI agent in Florida and had an interest in that guy, which seems kind of strange. I mean, maybe a 15-year-old would believe that a FBI agent in Florida would have interest in meeting with a 15-year-old from Utah. It would be scary if that were true, by the way. That would be frightening. But anyway, that's the story that he said. Mitchell advised the girl had sent him pictures of her legs where she had made hearts and stuff on her legs with her blood. Pictures similar to what was described were located on the juvenile's devices, so confirming his story. And by the way, you guys know the whole Ben Franklin quote that I'm going to paraphrase that basically is, the best lies are half true, right? Okay. Mitchell denied ever meeting the juvenile in person, but confirmed that they had made plans to meet. However, he was sick that day, so it did not happen. Mitchell described that the juvenile was excited about running away and asked if she could run away with him. Mitchell advised that he thought it was a fantasy thing and said, "Oh yeah, it'd be kind of fun." Mitchell said the juvenile told him she was 19, but she looked 18 in her pictures or maybe younger. But they have all the evidence from her phone, sir, stating, "Hey, when I turn 18, I want to be a vlogger." Come on. Goodness. Mitchell estimated that he saw 3 or so pictures of the juvenile's face. Mitchell confirmed that he had communicated with the juvenile on Snapchat. When asked if he had received explicit photos from the juvenile, he responded, "Not that I know of were explicit, no. Not that I know of." Goodness gracious me. Imagine. Come on. By the way, none of us watching here are stupid criminals. I am eternally grateful for the criminally minded. They just can't help themselves but being absolute idiots. For those of us who are not criminally minded and are not idiots, don't talk to police, man. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Here he is trying to not be suspicious. Guess what he is? Any guesses? Everybody say it with me. Suspicious, right? And as you know, police are in the suspicion business. That's what they do. Don't talk to police. Okay. Mitchell said it would be okay if we quickly looked through his phone because he's an idiot. And unlocked it for me because he's an idiot. I'm glad he did it. Thank you, Mr. Mitchell, for being an ID10T, but the rest of us know, okay? The phone was a blue iPhone with a clear case. Mitchell advised he used Discord through his computer, and your affiant observed that the Discord app icon showed it was not currently downloaded. Mitchell showed your affiant where his social media apps were, which included Snapchat. Your affiant provided Mitchell the search warrant. So it doesn't matter if you gave us permission, we have the search warrant, they would have taken it anyway, but he's an idiot and unlocked the phone for them. He could have just gone, "Oh, here's the phone, it's locked." I mean, I'm glad he didn't. But he could have. He did not. So provided the search warrant for the phone. Your affiant asked Mitchell what the phone number for this phone was, and Mitchell could not remember the full number. Your affiant asked Mitchell if he had another phone, and Mitchell confirmed that he did and said his other phone's number was and then I redacted the number. This was the phone that had been originally identified as Mitchell's and that the search warrant had been written for. Mitchell advised that he used one of his phones for work and said he used to work for the Navy. Mitchell advised that due to this work, he had to take the camera out of that phone. So he had used this phone to FaceTime his family when he lived in Washington. Mitchell retrieved the phone with the same number that was redacted from his room and provided it to your affiant pursuant to the search warrant, which was later approved in a second search warrant. So they got 2 search warrants for both phones. Your affiant located photos of an underage female on Mitchell's phone. Along with this conversation with the young female, Samuel has 1 photo and 2 videos of what appears to be a teenaged girl. The photos depict the female smiling for the camera as she, and then I redacted it because we don't need to, being shown to the camera. The female appears to be about 12 years old. Redacted, redacted, redacted. The first video shows the same teenage female, redacted, redacted, redacted. The female's body is faced away from the camera, but she's looking back at the camera, redacted. The second video shows the same teenage female in a bathtub, redacted, redacted, redacted. You guys get it. We don't need to. Okay, also within Mitchell's phone, your affiant located a message thread with a young girl. The female appears to be teenaged. I redacted all of that. But I think this one was Elisa Petrov. Okay? Based on the photos and videos the female sent to Mitchell, she appears to be about 14 years old. Redacted, redacted, redacted. This is a description of the child that doesn't need to be out there. The girl sends multiple photos of her face. The photos and videos are clearly homemade and appear to be sent from the actual female Mitchell is talking to. Further investigation into the identity of the female sending videos to Samuel confirmed the age and identity of the female. According to state records, the female is 15 years old. Again, I believe this is young Ms. Petrov. Based on the information above, there's evidence on Samuel's phone that he requested nude photos and videos from underage females and currently possessed the explicit photos and videos on his phone because he is a sick predator and a gross person. Disgusting. So that is what has been going on. The arrest of Mr. Menard and the arrest of Mr. Mitchell that we read about here. But the thing that is still happening, guys, is that this young lady is still missing. Super important that we find her. So if you have tips, and you guys remember one of our viewers a couple nights ago brought up that she knew these 2 men, Glines and Menard, and she followed up with evidence showing me that she indeed does know them. So it's possible that there are people in this audience who know people who might be working hard. Guys, I think this is an organized effort to traffic young girls. I really do. The viewer of mine, she might be on tonight, not sure. She connected these 2 men. Even though this guy's in Florida and this guy's in Texas, they are connected. That is an indication to me that there is an organized effort here. Okay? So I'm gonna hide this. We're gonna bring this up. And let's bring up Elisa's photo again. And hey, Brenda is a member for 3 months. Brenda, congratulations on that 3-month celebration, that milestone celebration. One Man's Trash, 5 months. Awesome. Denise, she did contact me, and she did provide me information that, to me, indicates I'm satisfied that the 2 men are connected. Kai, her parents said Elisa when they were interviewed, so I've been saying Elisa. And you're right. Utahns, for some reason, just really like to be fast and loose with spellings. But she is of I think they are of some type of Russian descent or Slavic descent. I don't know specifically. And they pronounced it Elisa. it's possible that everybody else pronounces it Alyssa. I'm going to keep calling her Elisa. But thank you, because I do care about saying it correctly. I guess you and I disagree on how it's being said. Okay. Susan Lewis, thank you very much for the super chat. She says, redact away, this guy is a sick puppy, and reading about his attempts to essay this young lady completely unnecessary. I'm glad you support me. Thank you very much. And thank you for that super chat once again. Cheryl Bullock, thank you very much for this super sticker. I deeply appreciate that. Thank you, guys. Shelly, your bestie forever. How can I email you? I have a pic of a post. Looks like Elisa, but not sure. If you go to gavinfish.com and click on, I need to show you guys this, click on this little icon right here. It's a little envelope right there. That will go to a form, and you are able to upload files one at a time right here. If you upload that to me, I will have one of my team take a look at it. We will collaborate. We have a little Slack channel. We'll collaborate and see if it is her. If we agree with you. Either way, though, I encourage you to reach out to law enforcement. Okay? Reach out to law enforcement before you reach out to me. Yeah. Adeline, you're most welcome. Thank you for your comment. Susan Lewis, 2-month fanatic. I always used to tell my mother the older I got, the smarter she got. When I was 14, she was so stupid. That's a good way to say that. Yes, indeed. Let's see. I'm going to keep on going. I want to talk to somebody, by the way. I have somebody on the channel that is in a group that that lures predators the right way. Online predators, lures them out into the open where police can arrest them and prosecutors can successfully prosecute them. I'd like to get somebody on. Bob Maybank Gray says, Gavin, 15 is such a hard age. Ooh, tell me about it. Old enough to want to go out and do things as adult, but not old enough to actually be able to. Tough age. It is. It is a tough age. So hard. Even under the best of circumstances. Yeah, Shelly, okay, I got you. Intubinistic says my hair is it's getting long, isn't it? You guys notice I did update because I don't look like I normally do. I updated my my banner on the YouTube channel. I will continue to make some updates as it grows longer and longer, and I can't wait to cut it off. Let's see. Still going. Okay. So this is Jennifer Dobbins. In 2013, my daughter, then 14, let me know a guy asked her and her friend to take bikini pics and send them to him as he was a modeling scout. They let me know they did not. I'm glad. Because you know what? These guys are extremely, extremely good at coercing these young people that just don't know how to defend against being coerced. And ultimately, they get to a point where they've gotten so much from the child that can be used as blackmail, they start to blackmail. And they start to say, hey, if you don't do this, then I'm going to put these out. It's going to ruin your life. It's terrible, the kind of bullying and the kind of predatory behavior that it's beyond bullying. It's predatory and gross what is happening. But there's also the bullying that makes people are convincing young people to harm themselves. It's sick. I don't understand it. But I am glad, Jennifer, that your daughter figured that out. Adeline says, my heart just hurts for I remember feeling those big, awful feelings at 15. It is hard. Yeah, and I hope that if Elisa is watching this video or others like it, that she understands that we all understand. We've been there. All of us old fogies, we've been there. We've been through it. And so there's no shame in this because we all felt that way. There's no shame in it. If you're embarrassed about coming home because there's so much attention being brought on, you don't need to worry about it. There's no shame. You can come home, and everybody will be so happy if you do. And remember, guys, the Salt Lake City Police Department telephone number is 801-840-4000 if you have a tip. Okay? All right. A couple more comments. We've got some time. Still scrolling. Give me a second. Elisa does look older than 15, but certainly not 18. Yeah, that guy was saying that in order to try to convince police that he didn't know that she was a minor. And come on. Dialing in from Cairns, Australia. Welcome, Miss Beckification. Miss Beckification, I like that. That is good. Oops, just refreshed. Give me a second. Scroll back up. Okay, Lisa, hello. Any chance there with the 764 group? Oh, I watched that. I watched that report. I think that was ABC News that did that on the 764 group. I've thought about doing an entire video on the 764 group. It is frightening. And yeah, I don't know. The scary thing is there are probably thousands, tens of thousands of organized groups doing this because they have buyers. That's really what it boils down to. They have buyers. If there was no market, if there was no demand, there would be no supply. Lisa says, I wonder if there's some kind of connection to the ring they busted in Florida. Yeah. Sorry to say, I just watched a police officer arrested for the same thing. FBI. Oh, you got to be kidding me. Goodness, that is sad. Oh, that's frightening and horrible. Ah, Shelley, good. Okay, I will take a look as soon as we're off. Why does it seem that no one takes this stuff seriously, i.e. the police? I don't know. I think South Jordan is taking it seriously. I really do. They've made 3 arrests in 3 states. They have put out information 4 different times that I can remember. It might be 5. I think they're taking it seriously. The only indication that they weren't is maybe the late start to call it an endangered missing person, but I think they have processes that they have to follow in order, and there are criteria that must be met in order to get there. I also choose to extend a lot of grace to the parents who didn't report her missing till the following day. Perhaps this is something that she has done in the past, and so they've been able to find her each time. I don't know. So I wish they would have gotten after it a little bit sooner, but I understand why they didn't. All right, let's see. Somebody says Ukraine. Somebody else says Russian. I can't remember which one it is. Kai, you're welcome. You're welcome. Late to the party. I was on my side of the moon coming over to y'all. Tyler, glad you're here. Lynn says, Gavin, I live in Bountiful. Mitchell has other photos of young girls. It was on the news locally. Yeah, that was in the arrest warrant. There were at least 2. There probably were more. And at the time that I planned this video, there wasn't a case against him yet. So the information document hadn't been filed yet. The only thing that I had to go on was the arrest affidavit. But I'm sure there will be more in there. because the arrest affidavit is usually just, hey, this is what we can get him for now. Let's get him off the street in cases like this anyway. And I love Bountiful. Beautiful spot. All right. Jenny Meow Meow. Gavin, do you ever blow dry your hair and pretend to be a model posing in the wind? How did you know? How'd you know? No, I haven't done that yet. It's not quite long enough yet. We have a group here that Triexto creditors. Maybe meant predators that like tries to get predators. They found out my high school ex is one. Oh, cops were called and he was not arrested because they are not affiliated with the PD. Yeah, dude, the organizations that are doing stuff like that, usually their motivations, goodness, usually their motivations are legit. I wouldn't say pure, but legit. They want to get predators off the street, but they've got to do things the right way in order for those things to stick. They can't just be about embarrassing people. Sorry to hear about your high school ex. Woo. Indy, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Let's see. Lisa, your hair fits your personality. We know you're going to donate it, but for the time being, run with it. Yeah. I'm not enjoying it, I'll tell you that. What's the 764 group? Okay, so Leslie Ann, the 764 group. There was it on Dateline or ABC News? Let me look up where it was. It was so 764 refers to basically they are a sexual extortion group online that try to get people to give them compromising things, including juveniles, and then they use those things that they get to make them do terrible things, including harming themselves, in some cases taking their lives. It's extremely, oh my goodness, extremely scary. Yeah, it was ABC News. I want to make sure this is
an FBI warning about a criminal network targeting.
Yeah, so let me bring this up. This is where I saw it. I saw it on ABC News. They have arrested leaders of the group, and yeah, just look up 764. They're a sextortion, organized sextortion ring, and it's scary, super scary. A lot of them use Telegraph. There was a huge ring in South Korea that used it called the Nth Room. Yeah, it's crazy. Good. Glad you did. Need video. You guys need to stop with the hair thing. It's just hair. And it's receding. So this is like the last hurrah for Gavin Fish for having long hair. That's why I decided to do it. Glad you're here, Michelle. A couple of other things. Okay, I'm skipping hair because it's embarrassing. But maybe Baby Gavin. Maybe Baby Gavin. Yeah, 764 was started by a guy in Texas. I think 764 were the last 3 digits of his zip code. Jacqueline, how do you work during the day? Come on YouTube. It's a long day every single day. I rest on the weekends. Gary says, Gavin, okay, stop. Tears are welling up. No shame. The police department actually released the video on YouTube for learning purposes. Okay. Lisa says, this case makes me want Cluvelta. Have you guys noticed that my murder board is brought to you by Cluvelta? Do we need a Cluvelta break for a second? Is that what we need? Give me a second. Let's see if we can just take a break, and then we'll come back. Are you constantly narrating your own life like it's a Dateline episode? Do you whisper, "The husband did it," at weddings? You may be one of the millions silently suffering from a condition known as true crime brain syndrome, or TCBS. But now there's hope. Cluvelta, the first semi-legal, questionably tested treatment for TCBS. Cluvelta helps restore balance to your life by gently replacing your obsession with murder with an obsession with real estate shows. Cluvelta users report fewer murder boards, shorter Reddit rabbit holes, and an increased ability to trust their spouses again. Maybe. Side effects of Cluvelta may include watching cooking shows and actually following the recipes, trusting your neighbors not to be serial killers, starting a knitting club, and accidentally solving local crimes anyway, hallucinations of Keith Morrison narrating your dreams, and in rare cases, mild interest in HGTV. If you experience sudden urges to say, "Let's circle back," or "This doesn't add up," discontinue use immediately and call your podcast co-host immediately. Cluvelta, because even you deserve to sleep without checking your Ring camera 12 times a night. Thank you, Cluvelta, for sponsoring my murder board and this here podcast. YouTube. Why did I say podcast? I don't know. Okay, guys, we're gonna call it good. Thank you all so much for the comments. Remember that Elisa Petrov is still missing. This is a case that can be solved. If Elisa is watching, there's no shame or anything in what you've done. You've done what so many teenagers have done and what we all wanted to do at one point in our lives. Please, please, please come home if you can. If you can't, find a way to get in touch with police. 911 is always there. Okay? You can do it. And for the rest of us, let's keep our eyes open wherever we are. She might still be in Utah. She might be in Vegas, Florida, Texas. Who knows where she is? Keep our eyes open. And I know that this is like borderline creepy, but just her hair, she's 5'3", 122 pounds. Her hair is almost down to her waist. It's long brown hair. She has brown eyes. It looks like she might be a gymnast or a cheerleader. She's got strong shoulders. Just be on the lookout for a teenage girl with this description, and let's see if we can help bring her home. Hey, tomorrow we will be back at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. We will be joined by your friend and mine, Elizabeth Jones. Let me see where's Elizabeth? Where is Elizabeth? There she is. We're going to be joined by Hillbilly Crimes, Elizabeth Jones. We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff, including something that kind of might be happening in the Mickey Steins case, the Judge Kevin Mullins case. At least let's call it a theory, because she lives locally and she gets tips, and so she's going to share that with us. We all also might be talking a little bit about Lillian Jack Sullivan, Elisa Petrov, and so forth. So join us tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. That is where I will be. I hope you will be there as well. Until then, I bid you adieu, and I hope to see you then. Take care. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, please consider subscribing. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below.